This story right here is going to highlight just how rabid and insane some state-level Republicans are on the issue of women's rights. Less than 2 months into 2014, states are crafting laws to crack down on abortion. Now, how many states exactly are doing that? 10. 10 states are cracking down on abortion in the year 2014. Oh boy. So let me run through the list here for you so you understand the widespread attack that we're talking about. Alabama is attempting a 6-week abortion ban. That, of course, is 100% unconstitutional because you can't restrict before 24 weeks, but they're trying it anyway because why not? They're Alabama and they don't give a shit about federal law. South Dakota is threatening abortion doctors with life in prison. We spoke about this the other day also. And by the way, they only have one clinic in South Dakota, and they just want to lock that one abortion doctor up. Stay classy, guys. Oklahoma is trying to do a Texas-style law, or Texas-style laws. They're TRAP laws, the Targeted Restriction of Abortion Procedure laws. And what that is they do unnecessary and burdensome over-regulation to force clinics into shutting down. I always give you guys the example. What they'll do is they'll send in some state officials to measure the length of the hallways in a popular abortion clinic, and they'll say, oh, look, it's 7 feet 5 inches. And then they go pass a law that says it needs to be 7 feet 6 inches in order for you to stay open. They just pass that regulation. So then they have to redo the entire clinic, or they get shut down, and they only get like a month to do it. Or what they do is they tell them, well, you guys got to go to this hospital and get a permit in order to continue. And this way you can sell it to the public like, well, we're just asking for them to get hospital permits so we know they're sanitary and doing everything right. That's how they sell it to the public. But what they don't tell you is they make it a religious hospital that's going to reject their permit no matter what. So they got all these sneaky tricks that over-regulate them into shutting down. And how ironic is it that it's the Republicans who always claim that, oh, we're against burdensome regulations, unless it's to crack down on women's rights and to crack down on contraception and stuff like that. Then we're in favor of over-regulating. I mean, it's mind-boggling. Indiana is going to try to make abortion doctors get backups, and then they want to publish everybody's name. Now, you would think, well, what does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. But in a place like Indiana, that's actually very dangerous because you have a lot of rabid anti-abortion protesters who threaten violence. We have how many abortion clinics in the U.S. all the time, right? Whether it's Dr. Tiller or a bunch of other ones. That's terrorism. So they're really opening these guys up to get a terrorist response. Iowa wants to make it legal for women to sue abortion doctors for any emotional distress. Now, that's interesting because the idea here is they can take a woman who might have conflicted feelings and then they bring her into one of these right-wing movements and they convince her that, well, you could sue the doctor and make a lot of money, and then they sue the doctor to try to put them out of business. So it's another sneaky backdoor way of trying to put abortion clinics just totally out of business. Missouri wants to add a 3-day waiting period. South Carolina wants to get rid of all the exceptions for abortions after 20 weeks. So it would be illegal even in cases of rape, incest, and fatal fetal defect to give an abortion after 20 weeks. Mississippi wants to pass a 20-week abortion ban. I love this one. Even though they have one clinic left and it doesn't perform any abortions after 16 weeks. It's like, hey, fuck it, just pass the law anyway. For Christ's sake, you don't have anything better to focus on? There's no kids that are starving in Mississippi? There's no healthcare issues in Mississippi? What are you, insane? Of course there's bigger problems, but you're not focusing on them because you're idiots. And then Kentucky wants to force abortion doctors to describe ultrasound images to their patients to try to convince them to not get an abortion because they try to make them sound more and more human. Iowa is trying to ban the Plan B pill for low-income and rural women. I mean, what we're dealing with here is crazy people. We're dealing with religious fundamentalists who, for whatever reason, think they should control the political system, even though the Founding Fathers were explicit and specific in the fact that you can't mix church and state together. You know, park your metaphysical beliefs, your supernatural beliefs at the corner. Just bring your rational mind into the discussion about the laws. Let's be sane here, okay? But these guys, they want a Christian theocracy. They are the American Taliban. Now, remember, in the U.S., we have a moderate abortion policy already, right? Up to 24 weeks, they can't, crack down on it according to federal law, according to Roe versus Wade in the subsequent fetal viability case. So up to 24 weeks, it's all the woman's decision, which is the right thing to do. And then after that, it's only allowed in cases of rape, incest, fatal fetal defect in life of the mother. So we have the perfect balanced abortion policy in the U.S., but that's not good enough for these guys because they want to pretend like the second you're done having sex, there's 3 people in the room. They want to pretend like, that thing, which isn't even a thing yet, it's not even an embryo yet, you're dealing with gametes and zygotes, not even embryos, that thing has a Second Amendment right to bear arms. And assault weapons, too, at that. These are crazy people. Nobody should listen to them. Nobody should take them seriously. It's amazing that in 2014, this issue has been settled for decades. But they keep bringing it back up because they refuse to educate themselves and learn the facts and get the science and become open-minded. Also, last thing I'll say. This group of people, the virulent anti-abortion crowd, what would be the number one thing that would limit abortions, that would get their goal done? Contraception, the pill and condoms, and sex education, right? And of course, naturally, they're against all of those things too. Why? Because they're morons!